G'day and welcome to another video. In today's lesson we're going to learn how to make this granny square. Well, as you can see, the middle isn't square, it's round, but then the edges are square. So I have no idea what to call this one. Is it a round granny square? Because how can something be round if it's square, hey? But if you know how to make a granny square, a normal granny square, you're going to find this project reasonably easy. It is using the same principle where you're using 3 lots of double crochet into the same space. And even if you don't know how to make your granny square, this is a great beginner's project. We use the slip stitch, a chain stitch, double crochet, and in the second last grey round we use half double crochet, and the last round is half double crochet as well. So a great beginner's project to learn your stitches that you'll need to make various projects. So let's get started on the lesson. You are going to need a sewing needle, some scissors, a crochet hook to go with your yarn. I'm using 8-ply yarn and I'm going to use a 3mm or a D size hook. Now normally I use a G or a 4mm, so I'm actually using a smaller hook than what's recommended for my yarn. That's because I want my stitches nice and tight. So I'm using 8-ply yarn. I've got various different colours. Let me just grab them. See, I've got various different colours. Sorry if that white's really glary. I'm using light pink for the centre, white for the next row, a bright pink, and then a grey for the border. So it doesn't matter how much yarn you have. If you've got a lot or a little bit can be used for the first row, and then if you've got a lot of something, that can be used for your borders. So let's get started on the first row of the granny square. Or is it really a granny square because it's round? I haven't quite decided what to call this yet. Hopefully I think of something imaginative before I actually upload it. Okay, so grabbing the end of your yarn, we're going to make a slip knot. Various ways to make slip knots. Just make your slip knot however you make it. I'm sure there'd be over 20 different ways to make slip knots. I normally make mine that way because that's just how I got taught. So what we're going to do is chain 5. So wrapping your hook, we're going to pull through and make a chain. So we need 5 of those. That's 1, 2, 3, 4 and 5. We're going to slip stitch into the first stitch. So we're going into the stitch, yarning over, pulling through, and then pulling through to make a circle. Now I'm using 5 chains. You may need 6. Depending on what yarn you need, you'll know, because when you get to the end of this row you won't be able to fit all your stitches in. So if you get to there and you can't fit your stitches in, just go back and start with 6 chains to make your hole a bit bigger. So we're going to chain up 3. This counts as our first double crochet. We're going to do 2 double crochets into the centre ring. So yarning over, going into the centre of our ring, making our double crochet. Now I'm going to assume that you know how to do your double crochets already. So you're going to go make another double crochet, so then we've got 3 because we've got 2 double crochets and that first 3 chains counts as our first stitch. So it's 3 double crochets. You're going to chain 1. We're going to do 3 more double crochets into the centre. So that's 1, 2 and 3, and I'm working over my tail as I go so I don't have to sew it in later, because I don't know about you but I hate sewing in ends. So you've got 1, 2, 3, we're going to chain 1. We're going to work 3 more double crochets into the center. Chain 1, and as we're going around, what I do is grab hold of this chain part here, grab hold of your stitches and just pull them around so that you can fit the rest in. So what we need is 6 sets of these three double crochets chain 1s. So that's 1, 2 and 3. So we've done our chain 1 there. We're going to do 3 double crochets into the center, and then we're going to do a chain 1. So that's, what have we got, 1, 2, 3 and 4. So that's what you'd normally use for a granny square. Because ours is different, we need to put in 6 sets. So that's 3 more double crochets. 1, 2, 3, chain 1. So we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We need 1 more set. So if you're running out of space here, grab hold and pull around to make another gap. I find that 5 chains in the beginning works for me. So you may need 6. So that's 1 double crochet, we need 3 altogether. 2 and 3. And chaining 1. Now we are going to join with a slip stitch. So if you've worked over your yarn tail, put that at the back. We're going to work a slip stitch into the 3rd chain. So that's 1, 2 and 3. I like to try and pick up this first bit at the front and then pick up the back loop as well. I find if I go through one loop it makes a big hole. Oops. And then make the slip stitch. So there we go, we've got 6 sets. So if you've made a granny square before, you'll know this looks a bit strange because you normally have 4 sets. So what we're going to do now is cut our yarn. Leave about 2 inches. What I do is a chain stitch, pull it out, and then pull down tight. And then we're going to sew these ends in. Now you can wait till you get to the end of your project and sew them in, but I find that really annoying, so I do it as I go. So you're going to turn it over to the back. What I do, this is the first round, I will just weave my needle in and out and then go under these stitches here. And that will hide your yarn tail, but see how it's pulled in? You don't want to pull it in, so just fix it up. Snip that off. And this one that you've worked over, if you have, just pull it tight, making sure it's in there nice. And because I know I started here and I've worked around all the way, I know I've sewn that in. So I can cut that off. If you didn't work around your tail, what you're going to do is go back and thread it through these stitches here. Okay, so it's time for our next colour. My next colour is white. Now I'm just using up scraps that I had laying around. So to join in your colour, you're going to find a chain 1 space. It doesn't matter which one, pick a chain 1 space, go in with your hook, grab your yarn, just loop it over your finger. I've left about 2 inches on the tail here. Pull through. Drop your short piece down the back, pick up your yarn and chain 1. And I've just pulled down that short piece at the back, and that will secure that to your crochet. We're going to chain 3. 1, 2 and 3. And now we are working this second second row around here, this white row. So what we're going to do, we've done our chain 3 and worked 2 double crochets back into that chain 1 space, back into here. Another double crochet. We're going to chain 1 and 3 more double crochets back into that same chain 1 space, so where we just worked our previous stitches. We're going to work 3 more double crochets. Sorry guys, my yarn is stuck. What have we done? We've done 2. 1 more, back into that same space. So we've got our chain 3, which counts as our first stitch, then 2, 3 double crochets, chain 1, 1, 2, 3 double crochets. And we're going to work that into each chain 1 space. So finding your next chain 1 space is here. Yarning over, doing 3 double crochets into this space. We're going to chain 1. We're going to work 3 more double crochets into that same space. So we're going to repeat this all the way around. So you can go ahead or crochet along with me. I'm going to find our next chain 1 space, which is here. Because you know you've got to skip 3 stitches, because that was the 3 from the row before, and then it was a chain 1. So we're going to do 3 double crochets into here, chain 1, 3 double crochets back into that chain 1 space, this is what it's looking like. So when you do a normal granny square, if you've made one before, you'll know this is a corner on a granny square. You might do a different amount of chains there, but that's how you work your corner. And if you've never made a granny square before, you're probably thinking, what on earth are you talking about? So we're working 3 more double crochets. Chain 1. 3 double crochets, all in the same space. So I'm just going to go ahead, and I'm not going to talk on this one, so you should know what to do by now. Do you know how hard it is for me not to talk? Okay, so after we've done our last group of 3 double crochets, this is what it looks like. Then we're going to join to here. So we're going to find our chain 3 that we did in our very first stitch. So we're looking for the 3rd chain. So that's 1, 2 and 3. Picking up the front loop and the back. We're going to do a slip stitch to join. So there we go. It's starting to look like, not really round, is it? Because it's our next round, or next row, sorry, that creates the round shape. Cutting off your yarn, chain 1 and pull through. And I'm just going to sew in my ends and then come back. I'm sure you know how to do that. We'll be back in a sec. So here we go, that's what we've got. Looking pretty cool. So grabbing your next colour, for me it's the bright pink. This is like a bright candy pink. I don't know if that's showing up properly on your monitor, but it's really pretty. So grabbing your round 3 colour. We are going to create, well, we're going to turn this square into a circle. Now I made this pattern up the other day. I'm sure someone else has probably already made it up. But I was just, you know, mucking around and went, wow, I just created a new pattern. There's so many different types of granny squares, isn't there? Some of them are fabulous. So we are going to join our yarn, next colour, anywhere in there. So I'm just going to choose here. Doesn't matter where you pick, as long as it's in a chain 1 space, of course. Or chain 1 space or the gap that's created there. It doesn't matter where you go. Oh, come here. So you're going to chain 3. And in the same space where a chain 3 is coming from, we're going to work 2 double crochets. So going into that space, it's 1 and 2. Then we're going to go across to here, into that next space. And if you had joined in that space and that's your next space here, you're going to work into that space. It's all exactly the same. We're working 3 double crochets into the space. And what we're doing in every space around, we're working 3 double crochets. So that's why it doesn't matter where you start, because it's all exactly the same. So yarning over, going into the next space. For me it's a chain 1 space. Working 3 double crochets. So like I said, in every space around, whether it's a chain 1 space or just the space that's created here, 3 double crochets. So I'm going to work a few more, then show you what mine looks like. And then we'll catch up at the end of this row. So this row is pretty easy, it's just 3 double crochets in every space around. Can't really get much easier than that, it's all repetitive, so that's good. Good project when you're watching TV. Okay, so continue around until we get to here, and I'll meet up with you there. So here we go. I've continued around, and now we're going to join to the 3rd chain. So that's 1, 2 and 3. We're going to slip stitch to join. we're going to cut our yarn. Now you can work this one with all the same colour, but trust me, it doesn't look as effective. Give me 2 seconds and I'll grab my one I did in one colour. But I just don't think it has that, you know, same effect. It's quite boring. So that was my practice when I just wanted to see if it would work. Not as exciting as it than that. Doesn't show you that it's rounded, so it just looks all square. So I think it looks better in colours. And what a great project to use up scraps. Because if you've been crocheting for a while, I'm sure you've got plenty of them. So I'm just going to sew in this end. I'm going to leave that other one, I just want to get this one out of the way. Now, I normally sew in about 2 inches of the yarn, or try to where I can. Sometimes it doesn't allow you to sew in quite so much, but guaranteed it won't come undone then. You've got a lot of ends woven in. So our next colour is our grey row. Now this is the row that you have to concentrate on a little bit more. Not a lot. Don't like anything you've got to concentrate too much on. And I try and make projects that look really hard or look like they're complicated, but they're really not. Because who wants to like concentrate too much, hey? Want to be able to let your mind wander sometimes. Okie dokie, so we're going to join our colour. So what I've done here, I've used the grey for this row here. So that's the row we're about to do. And then this row here is a separate row, so that's worked last. So you could change the colour of that, that's completely up to you, of course. But this next row is worked in a different colour. So we're going to join our yarn. So this is where we make the circle become square. This is the exciting row because it completely changes the look of what we've got in front of us. So what we're going to do is we're going to chain 3. We're going to work 2 more double crochets into the same space. It doesn't matter where you join your yarn, any of the spaces will do, they're all exactly the same. We're going to chain 3. Now if you're an extremely loose crocheter, you may only need 2. You'll find it when it's finished because your chain space will be really baggy and won't look proper, won't look right, so you could maybe even get away with the 2. Because I'm using such a small hook, I thought I might just add the 3. So 3 more double crochets into that same space. And at the moment we're creating the corner of our square. When I do a granny square normally, like a normal granny square, a square one, I only do 1 chain in the corner. But I found with this pattern it needed a couple more. So in our next space across, we're going to work 3 half double crochets. So to make a half double crochet, you yarn over, you go into the space, you pull up a loop, and then grab another piece and grab go through all 3. So yarn over again and go through all 3. So that's a half double crochet. So I'll do that again. Yarn over, go into the stitch, yarn over, pull up a loop. You've got 3 on your hook. Yarn over, pull through all 3. So I need 1 more of those. In the next gap, in the next space, we're going to work 3 half double crochets. Now, when I very first did this, I did it with 3 double crochets. Whoops. And what happened is, see how it goes, well, pretty straight anyway. It's pretty straight across the top there. Because the double crochet is the highest stitch, a longer stitch, it kind of went across and then up, and it looked really weird. So I've just changed down to the half double crochet because it's a bit shorter. So in the next space, we want to create another corner like this one. So we're going to do 3 double crochets into the next space. You're going to chain 3, 1, 2 and 3. You're going to work 3 more double crochets into here. Did I say double crochets for there or half double? I meant double crochet, if I didn't say it properly. So we've got another corner. So we had 3 double crochets, chain 3, 3 double crochets. So if you remember 3, 3 and 3, that's what you've got to do in the corner. So our next 2 spaces, we're going to work 3 half double crochets in each. So we're going to go into here, work 3, 1, 3 half double crochets, that's 2 and 3, 1, 2 and 3. Now with crochet, because everybody has different tension, if you find that this is not laying flat and it's sort of curling in, so it's kind of create like a bowl shape, try a chain 1 in between here. I don't need it. For mine it will lay flat. Doesn't really, it looks like it is, but the other ones are laying flat, so I know that it works. If you find something that's trying to create a bowl shape, it means you haven't got enough stitches. Or if you want it to lay flat and it's curling up, that's what it means. So now we need to work our corner, so we're working 3 double crochets. I hope I don't give you too much information when I'm teaching. I try and give you as much as I can because I find you learn more. So it's 3 chains. Remember it was 3, 3 and 3. So there's our 3, there's our 3 chains. You can pull it across like that if you need to, and then work 3 double crochets. So that's our other corner. So we need to work our 2 sets of half double crochets. 1, 2 and 3. 1, 2 and 3 in the next one. And the next one is our corner. Oops, ball of wool's trying to get in the video. So in the next space it's 3 double crochets. Got to speed up a bit here, so 3 chains and 3 double crochets. Because you should know what you're doing now, because you're just repeating that all the way around. So it's all even, so you know it's a corner, 2 sets of half double crochets, a corner, 2 sets of half double crochet, a corner, 2 sets of half double crochet, a corner, and guess what? 2 sets of half double crochet. So that's what we're going to do. We're going to work our 3 half double crochets, and the next one as well we're going to do the same thing. And then, boys and girls, we are at the end of our row. So we're going to find the 3rd chain, 1, 2 and 3, gonna go in there for a slip stitch. And of course, because the camera's rolling, it's making me look silly. Here we go. So what I do is I do another round with the same colour. If you want to change your colour, by all means, go for it. And what it is one row of half double crochet around the outside. Okay. So you could change this colour, it's completely up to you. But this is what we do. So if you're changing your colour, you'll join your yarn. You can join your yarn, and what we're doing, instead of working into our spaces that we created when we went around, we're working into the top of the stitches. So where we would normally crochet when we make other items. So join your yarn. You're going to chain one, wrap your yarn, go back into the same stitch, and actually do it, don't just say it. And then we're going to work another half double crochet. Now I found when I did it, sometimes it was hard to see the stitches, so I know I've got to work, because there's 3 stitches in each gap, right? So you know you've got to work 3 half double crochets. So as I went around, what I did was counted 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. And I'll show you what I mean. So that was 1, because I know I've got 3 stitches here, right? So that's 1, 2, 3, and I know there's 3 chains, so it's 3 into there, so it's into that space. 1, 2, and 3. You know you've got 3 stitches here, so see how there's that hole here? See how there's a hole there? That's number 1. Number 2. And number 3. Now the next bit is where I found it tricky to see the stitch, because I was skipping here and going straight into there, but if you go straight into there, there's only 1 and 2. So your first stitch is, and this is really hard to show, hang on, that's extreme close up, isn't it? See how there's a hole there? There. That's 1, 2, and 3. So the next one is here. See, there's a hole. So it doesn't really look like a stitch because it's that gap bit into here. I'm going to have to zoom that back out because it's actually hurting my eyes because it's so close. So there we go, we just work across 1 in each, and don't pull your yarn too tight on this row because it's going to not make it lay flat. If you need to, go up a bigger hook size, so if you've got extremely tight tension. So we're into the next chain 3 space. So when you're working this round, if you're finding you're pulling too tight, so work 3 into there, you find it's gone like this on this last row, it means your tension's too tight. See how mine lays flat? Mine's not. So that's okay with me because I haven't pulled really tight on this last row. Because I found when I did it first, I did, and it didn't lay flat, so I had to do it again. So we're going to work 1 half double crochet in every stitch, and then when we get to our corner, we're going to work 3 into the corner, and I'll meet you at the end. So as I was just going around my edge, I was just thinking, if you want to add another round before you add your border, you do it exactly the same, or almost exactly the same way. So you do your chain, your 3 double crochet, chain 3, 3 double crochet in the corner, And then when you come to this space, you don't do any more half double crochets. You just use double crochet on that next round and any round after that. So it'll be 3 double crochets, chain 3, 3 double crochets, all in that same space. So that'll be into here, because you'd be in the next row. Into this space, you'd work 3 double crochets. Into this space, you'd work 3 double crochets. Into the next space, 3 double crochets. And in this gap, where you did your chain 3 in the previous round, you'll work your corner, so it's 3 double crochets, chain 3, 3 double crochets, all in that same space. So that's how you'd add another row. But of course I haven't, I've only done that many rows, so I just need to finish off here and then I'll be back. So we're back to the beginning and we're going to do a slip stitch into the first half double crochet, not the chain 1, because the chain 1 didn't count as a stitch. I find when I do a half double crochet, I don't count that chain 1 as our first stitch. Slip stitching, grabbing your yarn, these things, scissors, chopping off, chain 1 and pull out, pull tight, and tra-la, we have our circle square. Now you may need to just give it a bit of a coaxing, just a little gentle tug on each side just to make it square. Thank you for watching my video. Of course you will need to sew in all your ends. This would be a fabulous square for scarves. You could use it to make a bag. I'm thinking that's what I'm going to use it for. I'm going to make a stack of these and make a bag out of it. Don't worry, there will be a video if I decide to make a bag, or whatever I decide to make with them. There will be a video, of course. I like to share, as you know, because look, I've got quite a number of these made already. And I'm really enjoying this, enjoying how it's round and not square in the middle. Really love it. So yeah, thank you for watching my video. If you have not joined our Facebook page, what are you thinking? Get over there and do it. It is a fabulous community that we've got there on Facebook, and there's various Facebook pages for all of the crochet teachers here on YouTube. They're great communities. If you ever get stuck on something, there's people there to help you. They, they're like cheerleaders as well. They love looking at other people's work, and they'll encourage you, and you'll get inspired from other people's projects. So yeah, I think that's the end of the video now. I'm going to stop talking and go and have some lunch, because it's lunchtime here in sunny Australia. I will talk to you soon in my next video, and until then, happy crochet.